Okay, so we're doing two definitions today, and it's two different types of statistics. So one is called descriptive statistics. And one is called inferential statistics. Do you remember before when I was telling you about statistics and I was saying it's about like gathering data and then making decisions based on data? So descriptive statistics is all about gathering data and gathering and displaying data. And over here on example, I'm going to write just the facts. So the only thing that descriptive statistics do is gather information, display information. There's no opinion involved. It is literally just what happened. It's exactly stuff, like facts. There's no argument about it whatsoever. Like if you said to me, we need to find out how many people voted in the last election and who they voted for. You can ask people who they voted for. You can't, of course, require that they tell you, but you can ask. So I could go around and I could ask people, and if I say, hey, 70% of this community voted for Trump, does that mean that I think that Trump's a good person, or that I voted for Trump, or that I'm suggesting people vote for Trump? No, I'm saying 70% of this population voted for Trump, and that's a fact. That has no opinion, no political opinion in it whatsoever. Everybody good on that? Okay. Inferential statistics is when you use that information to make a decision. Or predict something about a population. So for example, let's say that I went out and I asked 200 people in Lewiston who they voted for, and these 200 people told me, and 70% of the population voted for Trump. My descriptive statistics would be 70% of the people I asked voted for Trump. Everybody comfortable with that? And then my inference would be 70% of Lewiston voted for Trump. But I didn't ask everybody in Lewiston. You see what I mean? I'm just using the sample to assume something about a population, but I'm still making an inference. I don't know that to be true. I could have just happened to stumble into a whole bunch of Trump supporters, or maybe that 30% that didn't vote for Trump, that's the only people who didn't vote for Trump in the whole area, and actually the number's a lot higher. So I'm just making an inference. Do you guys know the word inference? Okay. So this one is an opinion based on facts. But it is still an opinion. Or a guess. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I want you to open your notebooks, leave out this sheet because you'll need it. We're not adding to it anymore though. You're gonna get an assignment today. It's gonna be page 6, and I'm gonna do some of it with you. All right, you're gonna do number 6 through 30 evens. And $35 through 41 odds. and then number 46. I know this feels like a lot of problems, but these problems go by very fast. And there are a few I want to talk about. So everybody open your book and let's look. Okay. I'm going to start by looking at number 12. Do you guys see above number 12 where it says classifying a data set, and it says in exercises 11 through 20, determine whether the data set is a population or a sample and explain your reasoning? Anytime, and this is going to go for this whole class, are you ready for me to be cool? Anytime it says explain your reasoning, on one of those that whole set of problems, on one of them explain your reasoning, on the rest you can just write sample, population. Like, explain it to me once that you understand what's going on, and beyond that, you don't have to write a sentence every time. Does that sound fair? And that's for every, so on 12 through 20, explain one of them. It looks like 25 or whatever, those are good. Look at when it starts at 35, it says, is it a parameter or a statistic? Explain your reasoning. So on one of those, explain. What I want to do with you right now is number 26, because I think these are a little hard to pick up on. I realize that this is out of order, and it's probably going to drive you crazy, but you can do it. It says, identify the population and the sample. For 26, it's a study of 33,000 infants in Italy was conducted to find a link between heart rate rhythm abnormality and student-infant death syndrome. One really cool thing about this book, do you see where it says source and then has like the blue writing by it? All of these are true facts. None of this is made up. It's all real statistics. So if you're ever like, yeah, but is that true? It is. Or at least it was true as of the publication of this book, which I believe was in 2016. So you know it's a little out of date, but not crazy out of date. Okay, so what's the sample? What's the population? When you're thinking about the sample and the population, you're not thinking about the people, which is what we want to think about, right? We want to think about who they asked. You want to think about the data they collected. So if they're looking at heart rhythm abnormalities and sudden infant death syndrome for infants, the sample would be it would be heart data from the 33,043 infants in Italy. Now, I'm sure right now what you want to do is, doesn't it feel kind of like an English thing where you want to like say, ooh, part of the sentence is this and part of the sentence is that? But that's not what this is. What you're going to say for the population then is that the population would be heart data from every infant in Italy. We do need to keep it specific because if the study is only about infants in Italy, then we need to also make the population only about Italy. But the only difference here is the word every and then who they actually asked. That makes sense? Why don't you try number 28 right now? So it looks like 5% consider pet friendliness as an important factor for choosing a hotel. Okay, so what data did we get from them? It sounds like we asked people their opinions. That sound right? So the sample is the opinions of, what was it, 1,012 US adults?